older.
You know, I'm starting to see a pattern forming here, Dad.
How's that?
Mrs. Duvall, Booger Lee.
Oh, I didn't tell you about Booger Lee, did I? You know about Booger Lee?
I know all about Booger Lee.
He beat you up.
No. He made me put on the gloves with Jack Steck one time, you know? Jack Steck was 2 years older than me. So I didn't know what to do. I'm banging around. I beat the shit out of him. That killed him. You know what he did? They used to make us box down at the gym when we was in junior high. I was in 8th grade or 9th. 9th grade, maybe 10th. We used to box down there, you know. What's he do? He makes me box with Kanji Carmella. Kanji's brother was a boxer. He knew how to box. See this nose? He hit me in the nose, my nose bled. My eye, he beat the hell out of me, actually. You know? I never forgot that. I never forgot it because that goddamn Booger Lee, he's the one that did it. Poor Kanji got killed in World War II, anyhow, he died. He was a nice kid. He told me, I don't know why. I said, what the hell did you beat the hell out of me for? He said, so I said, you know, I was no match for you. You was an experienced boxer, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm out of this. World War II's over, and this is 1950. I'm standing in front of the Central Pool Room. There used to be Lee's restaurant next door. Out comes Booger Lee. Frank Lee was his name. He hated that name, Booger. I guess he must have got it because he used to always pick his nose. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He comes out. I says, how you doing, Booger? Who said that? Who said that? I said, I said it. He says, well, he says, I might have known you said it. I says, sure, I said it, Booger. I give it to him now. I said, I said it, Booger Lee. And he says, and his brother says, oh, come on, don't waste your time on him. He ain't worth it. And I says, well, I was worth it when I was in his gym class. Son of a bitch. He was no good, Ouch. He had prejudice for me. I think it's because he was
didn't get along with any of the teachers, obviously.
Obviously.
Well, how about Toots Gillingham? Toots, remember Toots?
He taught me in school.
What do you think he did? I was in his...
What was his name?
Toots Fillingham. He was
Good
teaching...
guy.
He was teaching ancient history.
Okay.
So, it's a new class. He comes in, he's calling a roll call. He says, Alice LaBruna. Alice LaBruna. Alice LaBruno. Nobody's answering. So he spells the name, Algielabrsca. Oh, I says, that's me. Everybody laughed. You'd laugh too, wouldn't you?
Right.
So them guys are giving, how you doing, Alice? How you doing? I had to live with that for a while, you know. Till I put the heat on. What'd they do? Score a touchdown. Son of a bitch. Ouch. God damn it. So, Toots, World War II started.
Mm-hmm.
He enlisted in the Navy or something. I don't know what the hell he did. He got some kind of a commission or he got some stripes or something. And Mr. Hager come in and he taught me and he was pretty nice to me and he went in the service too. Toots failed me in that their ancient history class, but when he left, Mr. Hager passed me. But afterwards, when I seen Toots afterwards, few years later, we were the best of friends. He always wanted to beat the hell out of, he did, and beat the hell out of Rab Curry. He beat him up.
Who's Rab Curry?
He used to be Elks' football coach.
Oh.
Elks, I could tell you, Mrs. Duvall was, I scared the piss out of her. I had my uniform on, you know, in those days, man in uniform, he was boss. But he was respected, he was looked up on. You know, because we had a war on.
You sure?
It's 1944.
So, when you how'd the Army go for you? Like, how did you get to come home?
Oh well.
Like, I mean, what happened? You went in and
I went
and
into
what
the
year?
service and they sent us. I enlisted in 1943 and Grandpap one. He says you're not getting. I signed my name, and they
So
said
you were 18 then.
no, I was 17.
17.
In April '43, and they wouldn't take me till I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
When did you turn 18?
September.
September.
So I went
5
January
months.
1st.
Okay.
January 1st.
1944.
Right.
Okay.
So, where did they ship us? They ship us to Miami Beach for basic training. We were living in hotels. And who do they put me in with? The two sergeants were what the hell you call them? Not the recruiters, the ones that were going to train us. Mm-hmm. Right?
Drill sergeant, sir.
Yeah, one was a sergeant, one's a corporal. Mm-hmm. One was a Pecora, Italian, the other was an Irishman. Mm-hmm. So I was in with them. Right? So we had our basic
Just the three in a hotel room or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other kids had all in that hotel. Uh-huh. It was the Ninth and Ocean. I'll never forget it.
Well, do you remember the name of the hotel?
Was it something like a Waldorf or something? It was Ninth and Ocean. I'll never forget it. Mm-hmm. So we're taking basic training, and we had to go learn to fire rifles and all that bullshit, and fired submachine guns, pistols, right? It was our training. We went through basic training, which was hard. Bivouac at night. We had to stay. We went on camping for 4 days, slept under tents, stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. So basic training's over. We didn't have nothing to do, so I asked the sergeant, well, what am I going to do? He said, go up on the roof and get yourself a suntan. This is in winter. January, February, right? It's in February. Mm-hmm. It's winter. They had a real bad winter here that year. So I was up there, son. He comes down to me. He says, "You've been qualified as a bombardier, but they're not taking no bombardiers." He says, "We have a chance. If you want to, you can go up to Charleston, South Carolina. They're looking. They need some. They asked for some people up there. Like they might need 10 people to come up and fill in, work on the flight line, different like that, right?" Mm-hmm. He says, "You want to go?" I said, "Well, I was hoping to go to Bombardier School." He said, "Well, you're not." I said, "Well, how about gunnery? Anything?" He says, "Right now, this is early 1944. Things were going our way a little bit with the war." Mm-hmm. So he said, "Okay, I'll go to Charleston." So he says, "I'm going to give you delay en route, 10 days." So I come home. Mm-hmm. You're home already. 3 months, I'm home. So I go to Charleston, South Carolina, and this one guy's in there. He comes in there, and he goes down, he says, "Nebraska." He says, "You related to them people in Charleston?" This is Charleston, South Carolina. Uh-huh. I said, "What do you mean?" He says, they call it Nebraska Spaghetti House. I said, "Oh, they got good spaghetti." The guy's telling me he's going to assign me. Mm-hmm. And he says, "Well, what do you want to do?" He says, "Well, you could go on a flight line and change motors on planes and pre-fry them and stuff like that." Or he said, "I'll tell you what, why don't you take the job Forbes and Status?" I said, "What's that?" He said, "That's a nice job." He said, "All you do, you'll work in an office and you keep track of the planes, how many hours they're flying, what plane's going to go out and all that on a big board." That was my job, to paste the board. He says, "Yeah, you're not going to be here long." He said, "Why should you go out on a flight line and get dirty?" Stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. So I took that job. I had it made. I had a Jeep to run around in, Mm-hmm. That's my job every morning. But I was so intense on flying in an airplane. I got acquainted with some of them guys that used to test them planes. What they were doing, this was a base where the guys would train for 4 months and they'd go overseas on the plane. Mm-hmm. You'd have a complete crew, 10 crew. It was a B-24. So they'd change the motors in that, and they'd have to pre-fly them. So I used to talk this one guy he was a major. He was already served his time overseas, 25 years. I says, "How about taking me up?" He says, "Sure, anytime you want to ride, come on, I'm going to check the motor. We just changed the motor and we'll check it out." So I'd go with him. We'd go up and fly for about an hour and circle around, fly down around New Orleans and stuff like that and come back. I did that maybe a half a dozen times. I thought it was a great idea to take that B-24 off and it'd be rattling and everything. I thought it was great. I was only 19. I wasn't even 19. I was 18. I was going to be 19 till September. I thought I was the happiest thing. I'd go up there and I had a hell of a good time. I'd go up in the cockpit. He said, "Sit down there," and I'd sit behind there. Man, I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. Now I'm only 19 years old.